If you're looking to create your first online store with Shopify, but don't know where to begin, you clicked on the right video. This complete Shopify tutorial will take you step by step through the entire process of building your Shopify store from scratch. Whether you're brand new to e-commerce or just need a little guidance, by the end of this video, you'll have your Shopify store set up and ready to go. In this Shopify tutorial, I'll first walk you through how to sign up with Shopify, design and customize your store, add products, and accept credit cards on your new store. Shopify recently updated their backend interface in 2025, so this is an updated tutorial with Shopify's new interface. The very first thing you'll want to do is sign up for Shopify, but don't worry, it's quick and easy. In the description of this video, you'll find a special link that not only directs you to the sign up page, but this will give you 3 months of Shopify for just $1. How about that? Okay, so once you click on that link in the description, it'll take you to a sign up page, and here you can sign up for Shopify for 3 months for $1. How about that? So once you put in your email address, you'll click on Start Free Trial. Okay, now we need to create our Shopify account. So here's our email, and then you'll go ahead and put in your password for your new account. Put in a password. I'll confirm I'm human. And then I'll click on Create Shopify Account. So next, Shopify is going to ask us a few questions like what kind of store we're running. You'll just go ahead and select the options that apply to you. And don't worry, you can always change these options later. I'm going to select an online store and then click on Next. Next, Shopify is going to ask us if we are already selling products or if we're not. I'm going to select Not Selling Yet because our store is not set up yet. And then I'll click on Next. Now Shopify is going to ask us, what do we plan to sell? Well, you're going to select an option that pertains to your e-commerce website. I'm just going to put basic products and then click on Next. So next, Shopify is going to prompt you with some plans they offer, but we can always pay later once we get our store situated and set up. So at the bottom right, I'll click on Skip. I'll decide later. All right, so this is the Shopify dashboard. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we can adjust our store, create products, and also view our customers. Now, the first thing we're going to do is adjust our Shopify theme. On the left side, we'll click on Online Store. Now, the very first thing you can do is actually take a look at our new store. So here on the View Your Store, if you click on this, this will give you a visual of what your store looks like. And you'll see it's, it's pretty cool, pretty cute, right? We got some images and products and stuff like that. Now, how Shopify works is for every Shopify store, there are specific themes you can select. The Dawn theme is selected on our store by default, so this is what our store looks like. If you want to switch different themes for your store, there are some popular free themes that you can select for your Shopify store. If you want to switch your theme, so for example, we have this craft theme, all I'll do is click on Add. And now Shopify is going to now add the craft theme for our Shopify store. After it's been installed, you can now publish this new theme to your store. So on the right side, I'll click on Publish. And now I'm going to replace the Dawn theme with the craft theme. So I'll click on Publish. And now you'll see our new theme has been published to the store. And if you want to take a look, I'll click on View Your Store. And now this is our new theme for our Shopify store. So it just changes the formats, changes the structure, but not to worry, we can always adjust all this later. Now to switch back to the Dawn theme, I'll click back to our Shopify dashboard and we can scroll down, and under theme library, I can republish the Dawn theme. So for the Dawn theme, I'll go ahead and republish our original theme. So I'll click on Publish, and then I'll click on Publish. And that's it. So that's how we can switch between various themes. And if we take a quick look, if I click on View Your Store, you'll see it goes back to the original Dawn theme that we first had when we started our store. Now, let's say you want to customize your store. So to do that, under the Dawn theme, you'll see this Customize button. Let's go ahead and click on Customize. Okay, so this is where we can adjust the options for our Shopify store. Now, the first thing I want to do is change this image banner, right? This is like a default one. I don't really like it, so I'm going to change it. So to change the image for your banner, all you'll do is double click on the image. And on the left side, you're going to see image 1 and image 2. To swap the image, all you'll do right here for image 1 is click on Select. And here you can upload images. Now, I have demo images for all of you in the video description. So if you do want to use those images to follow along, there is a zip folder you can download to follow along. So I'll go ahead and click on Upload Image. So in the image folder, I'll use this image. I'll click on Open. All right, so the image has been uploaded. I'll click on Done. And now we have this new image as our background. So it already looks pretty good, right? Now, if you want to add a second image to create a split screen effect, you can add a second image here. So I'll click on Select under Image 2, and then I'll add another image. Here I'll select this skater guy and then click on Open. Once that's uploaded, I'll then click on Done. All right, so now we have this really nice split screen effect. Now on the left side, we also have some more controls for the background image. So we can adjust the opacity, which makes it lighter or darker. This is typically good if you have light text because it makes it easier to see on the eye, right? You can also adjust the heights. So we have large, medium, and we have small. Okay, next let's talk about how to change this text on our home page. And this is actually really simple. All you need to do is click on the text, and then right here, you can go ahead and adjust the text for your home page. Also, Shopify has recently introduced their new Generate Heading AI, and all you gotta do is just add in some description here and click on Generate, and they'll give you some ideas that you can add on your home page. So let's say, for example, if you wanna select this one, you'll just go ahead and click on it, and then the text will change to this specific heading text. Now, let's say, for instance, you want to add a small section under your title. If we go ahead and hover over this, you'll see this plus icon. I'll click on this, and then we can click on text. And then right here, you can also add a subtext for your main header. So you can go ahead and put in some content here for your landing page. So that is how you can adjust the text for your home page on your store. Now, if you want to remove elements on your home page, all you got to do is hover over the element and click on this remove, and that'll delete the elements that you've added on the home page. So next, let's talk about how to add a logo on our home page. So this is actually quite ugly. We have this My Store. To add a logo for your website, you'll go over here and click on Theme Settings, and click on Logo, and here you can upload a logo for your store. So I'll click on Select. Here's my logo. So I'll go ahead and select my logo and then click on Open. All right, cool. Then I'll click on Done. And voila, we now have a beautiful logo on our Shopify store. You can also make it a little bigger. So you'll see that we can increase the width of our logo. And just by adding that logo, it really did a lot, right? It made our store look a lot more official. The next option is adding a favicon. Now, a favicon is the icon that appears at the top of the browser when people visit the store. So you'll see up here, there's the Shopify icon. So that's what the favicon stands for. So I'll click on Select, and then I'll just use this basketball. You know, why not? Generic basketball. Here, click on Open. All right, cool. So when people visit my website, they're gonna see this basketball logo at the top of the browser. Now, while you're building your website, if you ever make mistakes, like let's say, for example, you add in some text and you mess up right here, or something just goes wrong, you can always go ahead and click on the undo option right here, and this will undo all the options that you made to your store and just go back to whatever you did previously. Now, to save the changes on your store, at the top right, you'll click on Save. And that's it, congratulations. So now we've made a really nice looking landing page for our Shopify store. Now let's talk about how to create products for our store. So to do that, at the top left, I'll click on Exit. And under the tabs right here, you're gonna see Products. Let's click on Products. The next option is Add a Product. So right here, I'll click on Add Product. So for the title, go ahead and put a title for your product. So I'm gonna put Kobe's basketball. And for the description, you'll put in some description for your product. You can always use the AI to generate text. So for example, I'll just go ahead and copy this basketball, and under generate text, I'll just put in the basketball keyword and click on generate. And there we go. Now we have some description for our product, but this sounds too like experty. So I'm gonna put something like, supportive, you know, change it up a little bit. You know, that sounds too generic and professional. Here I'll click on keep. And now we have some description for our basketball product. Now there's other options you can add in the product description. So you can insert a video, you can insert an image, or if you double click on something, you can add a link in the product description. The next option we have is selecting a product image. So right here, I'll click on upload new. And then for the images, I'll select this generic basketball, click on open. All right, and this is the image that represents our product. Now, if you want to add more images and put those in the product catalog, right here, click on plus. And this is where we can add in some more images. So if you want to upload more, you'll click on add media, but I already have this one here. So I'm going to select this image and click on done. So now we have two images. Now the large image is the featured image. So this is what users are gonna see when they see our product. If you wanna switch the images, you'll go ahead and swap it out. And now this one right here is the featured image. But I do wanna use this one here. I think it looks a little bit better, right? So now that we added in the image, let's go ahead and scroll down. And now we have pricing. And here we have the price and the compare at price. Now the compare at price is what the product used to be sold for, and the main price is what the product is actually being sold for. So for example, the compare at price is $40, but we have a sale right now, and as of right now, the product is being sold for $25. You can also choose to charge tax on this product as well by clicking on this checkbox. So next we have the cost per item, and this is essentially just letting you know like what your profit is when you sell a product, and this is for your own personal records, so customers will not see this. So for example, if you bought this basketball from the manufacturer for $5 and you sold it for $25, you made a profit of 20 bucks. All right. Next we have the inventory. So if you want to track inventory, you can leave that checked. If you don't want to, you can uncheck that. Now let's say for instance, you have maybe like 10 basketballs. I'll just go ahead and put 10 basketballs here. You can also choose to sell the product when you're out of stock. So even after you sell out, Shopify will continue to sell the product even when it's out of stock. If you want to take that off, you can just uncheck that box. If you have a SKU number or a barcode for your product, you can go ahead and enter the SKU number here and also the barcode number right here. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. But if you do have one, you can go ahead and enter those right here. Next, we have shipping. So is this a physical product or is this a virtual product? So since the basketball is a physical product, I'm gonna put the basketball weighs about 2 pounds. You can also add in custom information. So for example, if the country of origin is in United States, we can go ahead and select United States here. The next is the HS code. Now this only applies if you're shipping products internationally. So if you are not shipping product internationally, you do not need to worry about this. Next, we have variants. So let's say that we have a basketball, right? But let's say we have different maybe colors of a basketball. So right here under variants, I'll click on add options. And let's say, for example, I have different colors of my basketball. So I'll select color. Okay, so now that we selected multiple colors, here I'll click on color. And now I'm gonna add another color. So right here, I'll select black. Okay, so now I'm selling 2 different basketballs. I'm selling a brown one and also a black one. Now here I'll click on done and I'll scroll down. So here under the brown, I need to select an image that represents the brown basketball. So right here, I'll click on the brown basketball. Now, how many do we have available? So here we can adjust the price and the availability for each specific variant. So the brown basketball is gonna cost $25 and we have 10 in stock. Now let's click on the next one, which is the black basketball. And I do have an image for our black basketball. So here we have a black basketball. It actually looks really nice. So here I'll click on open and then I'll click on done. All right, so now we have a variant for our basketball. Now you can also select size. I'm sure many of you have different sizes for your products, such as t-shirts. So here I'll click on add another option and then I'll click on ball size. Now, obviously you can change this to like t-shirt size or whatever size you want. And then right here, you can add in specific sizes. So we have like medium, junior, youth, and they have a bunch of other sizes. Or if you want to create your own custom one, you'll click on add new entry. And then you can always go ahead and create your own custom sizes the way, tailored to your specific store, right? But I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to select just like maybe the mini, the junior, and the adults. Right? So for like kids, teenagers, and adults, right? Okay, so now we have brown and black basketballs and we have 3 different sizes for our basketballs, right? Now we need to add in the images and the pricing for all of these variants. So here under brown, I first want to re-add the brown image. And for black, I'm now gonna add the black image as well. So here, I'll select the black basketball. Okay, now since we have different variants, we now need to adjust the price for each variant. So for the brown, if I click on that arrow, you'll now see that we have different sizes for this basketball. So does each basketball cost the same price? Sure, why not? So I'll just go ahead and put that I have 10 of each basketball and each basketball costs $25. You can always go ahead and adjust the price for any variant that you choose to do so. Now we need to also apply this for the black basketball as well. So here we have the mini, the junior, and the adults. So for the mini, I'll go ahead and put 15. For the junior, I'll also put 10. And for the adults, we also have 10. And then of course, we can adjust the price for each individual product, right? Okay, so that is how we can add variants for our products. So if you do have multiple sizes or color, that's how you can apply these options for your products on your Shopify store. Now below that, we have the category meta fields. So this is essentially just what we added above. So we have brown basketballs, black basketballs, and we have 3 different sizes. Now, if you want to go a step further, you can click on the material, and you can also add the material for your products if you want to go that route. But I'm not going to because that's a little bit too much. Now, the very last option is the search engine listing. Now, this is going to showcase your product, how you would like it in the search results. So if you want to edit this, you'll click on edit. And here you can adjust the product SEO description for this specific product. So here I put Kobe's Pro Basketball. And then of course, you can add in the meta description here. If you want to adjust the URL, you can always add in more if it pertains to your product, right? If you need help with product description, feel free to go to ChatGPT. They have really good recommendations for meta description. Now, once you fill out all this information, I think we're ready to rock and roll. Here at the top, I'll click on save. And congratulations, we've now published our first product to our store. Now, if you want to view your products, here click on back. And here is a list of all of our products. So if you ever want to create more products, all you got to do is just click on the add product right here at the top right, and then go through the process again and create as many products as you want for your store. Okay, so I went ahead and I made some more products for our store. So now I have a total of 6 specific products. Now let's go ahead and create collections for our products. Those are also referred to as product categories. So under products, you'll see collections. Let's click on collections. And now we're going to create collections for our store. At the top right, I'll click on create collections. So let's say, for example, you have a sports store, but you have specific categories for your products in your sports store. So for the title, I'll put sports gear, and then I'll throw in some description for our sports gear. So next, let's scroll down, and here we have collection type. So I want to select manual because I want to manually select the products for this collection. Smart is basically trying to use like AI to automatically add products to those categories, but I don't want to do that because I want to manually select them. So here you can choose to actually type the product in, or if you click on browse, you can just select the products. So now I want to select the products for our sports gear, right? So I'm going to select the boxing gloves, Daryl's glove, and also the Kobe's basketball. Then I'll click on add. So now I have these products for this specific category. Now here at the bottom, you can also adjust the search engine listing for your product category. So for example, instead of sports gear, I'll put something like best sports gear. And then of course, you can adjust this and add in more meta description for your product categories. Now the last thing we should do is add a product image for this category. So which image is going to represent this category? Here, I'll click on add image. And I'll just select this guy playing basketball. Click on done. Okay, now that we've added all this in, we can now click on save, and we can save this collection. All right, cool. So if I click on back, you'll see now we have this collection right here. Now this is a default collection, so I don't really want this one. So under the home page, I'll select this, and I'll click on the 3 dots, and I'll delete this collection. Now I'm gonna make one more collection because we're gonna apply these collections on our home page. So under create collection, I'll make one more. And then I'll click on save. All right, awesome. So now we have 2 collections. Now let's apply this to the home page of our store. So to do that, let's go over here and click on online store. And then on the right side, let's click on customize. Okay, so once you get to your editor, here under the plus, I'll go ahead and click on add a section. And then here we can go ahead and find the collection list. So I'll click on collection list. And now we have a list of collections. So I'll first click on the first collection, right? And for the collection, now click on select. And then we can now select those collections. So I'll select the sports apparel. And then for the second collection, I'll do the same thing, but I'll also select the sports gear one. So I'll select a different collection. Now I don't need this third collection no more, so I can go ahead and delete this. So to delete one of these elements, I'll just click on the 3 dots and click on remove. Okay, now you'll notice that we have this like kind of gap right here. So I'll go ahead and click on the background right here, and then we can adjust this. So for the layout, I now want to select a 2-column row. Beautiful. So now we have these 2 column rows with these collections. And if a user clicks on one of these images, it'll then take them to all of the products with those collections. So that's essentially how you can create product categories for your Shopify store. Now, if you want to add in more sections for your store, all you'll do is first click right here and click on add a section. And then you can go ahead and add in as many sections as you want for your store. So let's say, for instance, you want to maybe add in like an upsell. So click on image with text. And then right here, we can go ahead and edit this, right? So I can click on the image, click on select, and then I can, put in some upsells or maybe announce like a sale. Here, click on the text and then I can adjust this. Okay, so I changed the text. You can also do this for the description. Now for this button label, let's say you want to link them to a specific collection, right? So over here under link, you can link them to collections, products, pages, or basically any part of the website you choose. So I'll click on collections and I'll just select maybe like all collections. And then for the button label, I'll put view collections. And then I'll uncheck this outline style to give it this really nice black background. So feel free to go throughout the rest of your website. You can add in sections, or if you want to just like get rid of sections, you can just go ahead and click on a section right here. And you can also remove it if you want to get rid of specific sections. So to save the changes that you made to your specific Shopify store, all you'll do is click on save at the top right, and this will save all the changes you made. So next, let's talk about how to design the product page. Here at the top under homepage, if I click on this drop-down arrow, you'll see a list of pages. And this is where you can adjust every specific page. But the first thing I want to do is adjust the product page. So over here under products, I'll click on products. And then here we have default product. Let's go ahead and click on that. So this is the product page that you can fully customize. So for example, here we have the text on the left side. And if I click on this and I drag it, I can actually drag this below the actual title. So here we have the title, and then we have some text, and then here we have the price. So feel free to rearrange these elements to your liking. You can also go ahead and click on the product information, and you can adjust the color scheme and also the width for your product page as well. So if you want to make this maybe medium or small, you can go ahead and go that route. Also, they do have different color schemes where you can adjust the color scheme for your products. Now, this also sort of pertains to the actual theme. So depending on what the theme you select, you'll have specific options right here to adjust the color scheme, the width, and the style of your product pages. So feel free to adjust all this information right here if you want to get customizable and customize your product page. Now, if we scroll down, you can actually add in full-on sections to your product pages. So for example, here click on add a new section. And let's say, for instance, you want to maybe add in one of these like, one of these sections, like a featured collection, or just like a collection list like we did earlier. You can actually add templates for your product pages as well. So here I'll go ahead and select some collections. And I'll do the same thing, right? We'll make this a 2-column section. So for every product page, you'll also see this collections under here just to help users navigate to other products. Now, once you fully adjust the product page to your liking and you add sections and you have fun, you can go ahead and knock yourself out. You'll click on the save here at the top right. And this is now your new product template for all the products. So next, let's talk about how to create pages for your Shopify store. So to do this, let's first click on exit at the top left. And we're gonna go over here under the online store and click on pages. Now, this is a list of all the pages. If you want to create a new page, here at the top, I'll click on add page. Let's say, for instance, you wanna make an about us page. So for the title, I'll put about us. And then here you can go ahead and add description for your about us page. Now, I'm kind of lazy, so I'll just generate some text using this AI. So I'll click on generate, and then I'll click on save. Now, once you do this, your page is not yet visible. So if you want your page visible on the website, you need to select visible right here, and this will make it so this page is now live on the internet. So I'll select visible and then click on save. Now, one thing also I should mention is you should also adjust the store engine listing for every single page. So for the about us page, we can go ahead and just, add in some description here. I'll just go ahead and throw in some meta description, right? And then I'll just click on save. All right, now let's go ahead and click on the arrow here and go back. So now you'll see that we have the about us, this is visible. We also have the do not share my information, and then we have our contact page. So next, let's talk about the navigational menu. Let's talk about how to add these pages to our menu on our store. So to do that, here under contents, I'll click on contents and then click on menus. Now here we have the main menu, the footer menu, and then we have the customer main menu. Now you can create a new menu from scratch, or we can just use the primary menu for the store. So here I'll click on main menu. Okay, so here we have the main menu. Now if you want to add pages to your menu, here under add menu item, I'll click here. And for the link, I'll go ahead and select here. And then we have the option to select products, pages, collections, or anything we want to our menu. So first I'll click on pages, and then I'll select the About Us page, click on the check, and then I'll click on save. And now we can also rearrange these. So let's say, for example, you want the About Us next to the home. You'll see that we can drag and drop it there. Now let's say, for example, you want to add collections to your menu as well. So under menu item, for the link, I'll click on collections, and then we can select all collections, or we can select specific collections for our menu. So first I'll select all collections. Click on the check, and then click on save. Next, let's say, for example, you want to create a drop-down menu. So to create a drop-down menu, here I'll click on menu item, and under the link, I now want to select products. So I'm going to select boxing glove. I'll click on check, and I'll add in one more product. I'll put in the Kobe's basketball and click on check. Now I want to take these two, I want to put them underneath the catalog. So to do that, I'll drag and drop it, and then I'll put this under catalog. Here I'll click on check, and I'll do the same thing for Kobe's basketball, except I don't want to make it a triple menu. I'll just put it right there, right? Click on check, and then I want to take the contact, put that at the end, and then click on save. So now this is going to be our new menu. And to preview the menu, here under online store, I'll click on view your online store. And here we go. So we have the home, the about, we have the catalog, and we have the drop-down items right here. Here we have our collections and our contact page. Now, if I click on all collections, this will actually show all the collections on our store. And if I click on a collection, it'll show all the products within that specific collection in a really nice, clean format. Now let's talk about how to add policies for our store. This is actually really simple. Shopify does make it quite easy. So let's go back to our dashboard here, and under the bottom, I'll click on settings. And under the general settings, you're gonna see policies. Let's click on policies. Now Shopify already has templates that we can use for our policies. So let's first select the refund and return policy. Here I'll click on insert templates. And here we're gonna go ahead and adjust this, right? So you're gonna go ahead and put in like your address right here. And then also you're going to go ahead and change this from maybe like 14 days to 30 day. And you'll go ahead and fully adjust this to, fit your store culture. And for the refunds, you'll see right here that, they give it like a 10-day period. So if you want to adjust that to 20 days or something else, you can go ahead and adjust this template to fit your website needs. Now, once you adjust this template, you'll then click on publish. And there we go. So now we have our return and refund policy set up. Next, let's go ahead and click on privacy policy. And by default, Shopify has already created one for our store. If you want to adjust this, you'll uncheck this box, and then you can go ahead and adjust the privacy policy for your Shopify store. Next is the terms of service. So I'll click on terms of service, and then click on insert templates. And for the terms of service, you'll go ahead and input your contact information here at the bottom. You'll also go ahead and skim through this and insert links where necessary. I believe for number 6, you need to insert your link to your refund policy right here. And you'll just go through this terms of service and adjust it to fit your website needs. Once you're done adjusting this, you'll then click on publish. Next, we have the shipping policy. And this is pretty much something that you're gonna have to write on your own, right? So for example, we will refund damaged items. So once you adjust your shipping policy, you'll then click on publish. And the last one is the contact information, and this is required. So I'll click on contact information. I'll click on insert templates, and then you'll go ahead and put in your store information, your physical address, your VAT number if it applies to you, and any other legal info for your store. Once you enter this in, you'll then click on publish. And now we've pretty much written all of the policies. Now the very last thing to set up is the return rules. So under return rules, here I'll click on manage. So what is the return window for your products? We have 14 days, 30 days, 90 days. I think maybe like 30 days is good, right? Return shipping costs. So customer provides return shipping. Do you want to charge a restocking fee? So if you do, you'll go ahead and put a fee right here, or you can just let them know that specific items are final sale items, which they cannot return. So for example, under specific products, I will say that maybe the boxing gloves is non-refundable. Once you adjust these options, you'll then click on save. All right, so after we set this up, let's go ahead and click on turn on. And then click on back. So now we've basically selected the return rules for our store and all of the policies. So as far as like the legal stuff goes, we're all set and ready to go. Now we need to apply these policies to the footer of our websites. So to do that, let's go ahead and click on this X and close out of this. And we're gonna apply these to the footer of our websites. So here I'll click on menu under content, and then we have footer menu. I'll click footer menu. And now we're gonna add these to the footer menu. So under menu item, under link, I'll click on policies. And now we're gonna add all these policies to the footer of our websites. So here we have privacy policy. Once we add all these to our footer, we'll then click on save. Now we should always view this just to make sure it's working. So under the online store, I'll click on view your online store, and we'll scroll to the bottom. And I'll close this, and then you'll see that we have all of our legal info here at the bottom. So we have our privacy policy, refund, terms of service, shipping, and then contact information. Now, if this does not display for you, you'll need to go to customize on your store. You'll scroll to the bottom under footer right here, and you'll just want to make sure that policy links is selected. So if it's turned off, you'll see the policy links are disappeared, but if you turn this on, they will display there at the bottom. Now the next step is we're now going to add payment processors on our website so users can actually use credit cards on our websites. So to do this, let's go to the back end here, and let's go to the bottom and click on settings. And then we're going to click on payments. Now the first thing you'll need to do is you'll need to complete the account setup. So you'll want to make sure that you verify your account with Shopify. So here I'll click on complete account setup. And the first thing we need to do is verify the email that we used when we created our Shopify store. So once you go to your email, you'll see this verification. So you'll click on verify your email address and then click on confirm email. And once you do that, you'll now see that your email has now been verified, and then we can go back to our Shopify dashboard. Okay, so now we need to submit some details about our business. So right here, I'll click on submit details. Now they're gonna ask you a few questions. So are you running this as an individual, a registered business, or a nonprofit? If you don't have a business set up, you can just select individual for now. Here, I'll click on next. Now you're gonna put the account representative, which is basically you. So you're gonna go ahead and put in your first name, your last name, your birth date, your social, your email, your phone number, and all this information. Okay, so once you enter your information, you'll then click on next. Next, you'll select the industry type. So for a category, I'll select retail. And then for the subcategory, I'll go ahead and select something that pertains to sports. So we have sporting goods. And then here we'll give a description of the products that we sell. Now, if we scroll down, you'll see store name. So make sure that you put a store name that your customers will understand, because this will actually appear on their bank statements. So I'm gonna put Daryl's Sports Store. Here's my generic phone number I put in. And once you enter this information, you'll then click on next. All right, so just make sure that you verify this information. So we have the business type, the store details, and the account representative. So right here, I'll click on confirm. Next, we'll go ahead and confirm this information about our personal information. I'll click on confirm. And lastly, we want to review the terms of service. And once you review it, you'll also click on confirm. And after we click on confirm 3 times, we'll then finally click on submit for verification. Okay, so now we submitted our information. Now you can always choose to turn on 2-step authentication if you want to go that route. But for now, we can just go ahead and go back to payments. So here, I'll click on payments. Now Shopify is going to review our information, and this usually takes about a few minutes. So just go ahead and maybe wait 5 minutes and come back, and Shopify will approve your application. And after I waited about 5 minutes, you'll now see that Shopify payments are now available. So people can use Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and all these other payment methods. Now, I also do recommend to turn on PayPal. Now, if you turn on PayPal, I do believe this will improve your conversions because sometimes people are too lazy to get a credit card like myself. So all you'll do is just go ahead and click on PayPal, and then you'll log in with PayPal. And once you do that, it'll link the account with your Shopify store. So if you do have a PayPal, I do recommend that you log in and add this payment method for your Shopify store. Now, if you want to view your balance, here I'll click on View Accounts. And this actually shows you how much money you have in your store. You can also use their virtual credit card, and you can actually, I think, have it mailed to your house. You can also deposit money and they'll give you interest. I'm not really sure why you want to deposit money, but they do give you a 2.93% APY if you deposit funds into your store. So next, let's talk about the general settings. Now, these will directly influence the shipping for your store. So let's go over here to Settings, and then here I'll click on General. And the first thing that you want to do is here under Billing Address, let's go ahead and add in our billing address details. Okay, once you do that, you'll then click on Save. Now the next options is you'll just go ahead and put in the unit system, the weight units, and then also you can adjust your time zone. Here we have order ID. Now this essentially will just help understand the distinction of your products. So for example, here I'll go ahead and put in like DW, and then you'll see the order IDs will change to DW101, DW102, and so on and so forth. So next we have the order processing, and this essentially will just make sure that you review the products before you approve them. Now, if you want to automatically approve them, you'll click on Automatic, and here you can choose to notify the customer of their shipments automatically or automatically fulfill all the orders, even those with a high risk of fraud, right? But the default settings is don't fulfill, so I'll go ahead and select that option. And next we have the archive order. So once the order has been paid or fulfilled, Shopify will archive the order. If you do not want that, if you want access to all the orders regardless, you'll go ahead and uncheck that box. Next we have brand assets. Now this is actually very important, and I think they should probably put this somewhere else, right? So let's go ahead and first click on Save here at the top, and then let's click on Manage here. So what is the brand, right? Well, essentially your store will send out emails and receipts to your customers, and you want to make sure that you add your brand to it so people know that it came from your store. So the first thing is setting up a logo, right? So I'll add a default logo. Okay. You can also choose to add a square logo if you want to go that route, but I've already added our primary logo here. So next we have the primary colors. So for primary color, I'm going to select red. And then for the contrasting color, I'll select black. And then for this one, I'll also select black as well. Okay. For the cover image, I'll select a cover image. And I do want to select this skateboard guy, right? Looks pretty cool. And then here we can add a slogan. I'll just put something like Nike, just do it. I mean, you don't want to copy other people's slogans. So just put a slogan that represents your business, right? So don't copy me verbatim, okay? And then here we have the short description. You'll just put in some short description about your business. And then also we have social links. So if you do want to add in like your Facebook link right here or other social links, all right. And once you enter all this information for your brand, here at the top, you'll click on Save. And right away, you'll notice that this looks a lot nicer, right? So we have the logo there, we have the colors, our image. It looks like right here, we should probably add in another logo. So let's tell you what, let's add in a square logo. I don't really have anything on hand, guys, so I'm just gonna put in like these boxing gloves, okay? Does that work? Yeah, okay. And then we'll click on Save here, and it'll look something like that, right? A lot nicer, a lot more structured and organized. So let's go back to our general settings. So just make sure that you go through the general settings right here, fill out all this information, but we did fill out all the important info, so now our store is ready to go. So next, let's adjust the shipping for our store. Now, before we do that, we need to actually let Shopify know which markets that we serve. So here under the markets, let's click on markets. So here is a list of markets that we serve. So as of right now, you'll see that we serve United States, and this is our primary market. We also have international, but this is inactive, right? Now, if you want to add another country that you serve, here at the top right, I'll click on Add Markets. And let's say, for example, I want to add in our buddies Canada, our 51st state, right? We'll go ahead and find Canada over here. See if we can search for it, right? Canada. To the Canadians, I'm just kidding. Okay, you're not gonna be our 51st state. It's a joke. I'm gonna get some like nasty comments like, you know, man, this video sucks, you know? So yeah, you'll go ahead and select a, you know, a different, you know, country. So we serve United States, Canada, and also let's do Mexico. Why not? Let's go ahead and find Mexico. Okay, we'll select Mexico. Here I'll click on add markets. So now I'm basically saying that we serve United States, Canada, and Mexico and international are inactive. And this is only inactive because we need to select the shipping rates for Mexico. So now that we have our markets that we serve, now let's apply the shipping rates. So here I'll click on shipping and delivery. And then I'll click on the rates for domestic and international. Okay, so now let's talk about shipping. Now we're first gonna talk about the basic standard shipping rates based off of location, and then we'll get in the nitty gritty and we'll talk about how to actually price shipping based off each individual item, all right? But let's just stick with the basics first. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. So Shopify did a pretty good job at setting some preset rates for us. If the user spends more than $50 on our websites, they will qualify for free shipping. If the user purchases less than that, and it's between 0 to 5 pounds, it'll take 5 to 8 days and cost the user $4.90. And they did the same thing for this one as well. So this is 5 pounds, 70 pounds. This takes 5 to 8 days, and this is $20. Now the standard is a little bit quicker. So 3 to 4 business days, 0 to 1 pound, and then standard, and so on and so forth. So let's say at first we want to adjust free shipping. So under the economy, I'll click on the 3 dots and click on edit rates. So free shipping requires what? Well, I'm gonna say that a base order price of $100. So the user must spend $100 in order to get free shipping. Is there a maximum price? Well, I'm gonna put no. Now you can also change this based off order price or the weight total. So for example, if the customer purchases more than 10 pounds of product, they will then get free shipping. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but I think most people do a minimum order amount, something like $50 or $100. So I'll go ahead and adjust that. And then here we have shipping rates where you can make this express, right? You can also do standard, economy, or you can make your own custom rates where you can tell them it might take 10 to 20 days to ship a product, right? But let's just go ahead and select standard, right? And then I'll just click on done. So now I've adjusted this for free shipping. Now let's do this for the next one, which is economy. So here I'll click on edit rates. And let's say, for example, you want to adjust this, right? So for example, I'll go ahead and put standard rates. And we're going to change this to $10. Let's do $5, right? Too much. And then we can also do this based off item weights. So in this specific case, I'll put item weights and I'll put something between 1 to 3 pounds. Here I'll click on done. And now I don't really need this one here, as you can tell. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one and I'll leave this one. So I'll go ahead and adjust this. And this will be 3 pounds to 5 pounds. And this will cost $15. All right. Next, I'll click on done. Now let's say you want to add a custom rates. So to do that, here I'll click on add a rates. And here you can use a flat rate or a carrier to calculate the rates for you. So let's say, for instance, you are shipping with UPS Ground. Here I'll select UPS Grounds. And then I'll click on automatically show new shipping services. And I'll scroll down. And if you want to adjust a percentage rate, you can do that here to maybe like 2%, or you can charge a flat amount. So I'll just say, you know what, we charge $5, or you can do both. So essentially I'm saying right here is we are shipping with UPS, and Shopify will actually show the rates for your customers, right? So you won't have any control over this because Shopify is going to pull the rates automatically. And then you can charge a percentage fee and also a flat amount fee as well. So here I'll click on done. And then now we have the UPS standard rates. Now, I don't really know how much this is going to cost because the customers will be notified at checkout. So it might vary depending on the location for each customer. So shipping might take a little time to get used to. I'm sure on your first few orders, you're going to have shipping costs that cost too much or too little. But once you understand what your shipping will generally cost, you can always update these in the general settings for your shipping. So next, let's say you want to adjust the shipping rate for Mexico. Here, I'll click on add a shipping zone, and we're going to find Mexico on this list. Here we go. Click on done and save. And then we'll scroll down here, and then you'll select the rates for Mexico as well. So go to add rates, and then you'll go through the same process here and adjust the shipping rates for each country that you want to ship to. And then once you select the shipping rate for Mexico, all you're going to do is make sure you turn it on in the markets section. So click on go to markets. So if we go back to markets right here and click on markets, you'll then see that United States is active, Canada, and also Mexico. Now I'll set up the shipping rates for Canada. So to do that, I'll go back to the shipping and delivery, click on the rates. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to actually delete the international. So I don't really want to ship to 50 countries. So I'll click on delete for international, right? And then I'll click on add a shipping zone. So now I'm going to find Canada over here, right? Canada. I'll select Canada and click on done. And then you'll select the shipping rates for Canada, just like we did for Mexico. And then once you select the rates to ship to Canada, you'll click on save. And that's it. So as of right now, if we go back to our markets, you'll see that we now serve all of these countries and we set the shipping rates for each individual country. So next, let's talk about how to ship based off specific products. So I'll click on shipping and delivery, and then I'll click on create a custom profile. So profile name, I'm going to put main products. Here I'll click on add products, and let's just say I want to select a specific shipping rate for the maybe the boxing gloves, right? Here I'll click on done. So next, now we need to add a shipping zone. So right here, I'll click on add a shipping zone. Now I don't recommend to put all the countries because the shipping cost is going to be different based off the country you ship it to. So I'm just going to say United States only for this one product, right? And then I'll add a rate. So for United States, how much does it cost to ship the boxing gloves? Well, here I'll click on add a rate, and I'll just say this costs like $5 or something, right? And then obviously we can change this to shipping rates and just like we did before, and then I'll click on done. So if you want to actually ship products individually and have specific shipping rates per product, you can also go that route as well. Now, once you do that, you'll then click on save. And now these products in this category will be shipped for this specific rates. Now, I would personally recommend to only have one option. So you should either do general rates or you should ship per products because these two options may conflict with one another. All right, so at this point, party people, I think we're all ready to go. Let's go ahead now and close this. And now let's publish our new Shopify store. So to publish our store, here, I'll click on online store. And then here we have pick a plan. But before we do that, let's just take a look at our store. Let's just see what we got going on so far. I think we've actually created a really nice looking store. So you'll see we have a beautiful menu. Now also, since we're serving other countries, we now have this really nice drop down menu where users can select their own currency. We have an account tab, a search tab, and if a user goes ahead and clicks on these collections, they're brought to this really nice product page. And if we click on a product, you'll see we have this really nice looking product page. Users can add it to the carts, and then users can go ahead and check out directly with their credit card on your Shopify store. So all in all, I think we've built a really nice Shopify store. So congratulations. And now we just need to publish this new store. So to do that, let's go back to our dashboard here. And now we're going to pick a plan. So under the theme section, under your online store, here you'll see pick a plan. Let's click on pick a plan. So here we have 4 different options. Now, if you're just getting started out with Shopify, I would go with the basic plan. The only difference here really is that you get a better rate on the credit card rates. Now, this is really only for people who are shipping in really high volume. So once you make a lot of sales, you might want to upgrade to their higher tier plans. But if you're just getting started out, the basic one will do just fine. However, since you get 3 months free, you could take advantage of that by getting the Shopify plan where you can actually get a cheaper rate and you get this discount for the first 3 months. But I think most people watching this video will stick with the basic plan. So right here, I'll click on select basic. So next you can check out with credit card or your debit card, or you can check out with PayPal if you have a PayPal account. Now on the right side, you'll see that today it's completely free, and your first 3 months, you'll just pay $1. And then after the first 3 months, you'll then be billed at $39 a month. So I'll go ahead and fill out my credit card info. Now, once you enter your credit card information, you'll then click on subscribe. Okay, so once you actually subscribe with Shopify, now we can publish the store on the internet. So to publish your store, here, I'll click on Online Store. And then right here where it says Remove Password, I'll click on Remove Password, and this will now make our store live on the internet. So now our store is open to everyone, and anyone with our URL can now view our online store. So right here at the top, I'll click on View Your Store. And congratulations, this is now your new beautiful Shopify store. So people can now come to your website, they can view your products, and they can purchase products directly with credit card or with PayPal. Now there's probably one last thing that you're asking yourself. How do I get rid of this really ugly domain, right? I mean, no one's gonna type this in. 99% of the people watching this probably don't want a domain that looks like this, right? So let me show you all how to create a custom domain for your Shopify store. So to do that, let's go back to our dashboard. Next, let's go over here to Settings. And then under the general settings, let's click on domains. So this is where we can now buy a domain. So to buy a domain right here, I'll click on buy new domain and then go ahead and give your store name. So this will be, so here we go. We have darylsclub.com. Here under the buy section, I'll go ahead and buy this domain. And then I'll go ahead and fill this information out. And then right here, you'll see the domain costs $16. Now this $16 will renew every single year. And this is standard for all web hosting companies because they have to purchase the domain from a registrar and they'll install it on your Shopify store. So once you fill out your contact information and your credit card info here at the bottom, you'll then go ahead and click on buy domain. All right, so once you bought the domain right here, I'll click on see domain status. And there's one more step that we need to do. We need to verify the domain. This is actually very important because we're verifying ownership of this domain. So later on, if we want to sell it or transfer it, we can prove that we own the domain. So let's go ahead now and check our email inbox. Okay, so you'll see right here, we have a receipt. So you'll see that it showed that I purchased this specific domain. And right here, we'll also get a notification saying that it might take up to 24 hours or 48 hours. But in my experience, it takes them like less than 30 minutes. So right here, you'll see that we have this email that says action required from Shopify. Let's open up this email. We'll scroll down and all we gotta do is click on this link here. So now we wanna verify our contact information. So if we scroll down, you'll see that we have my first name, the last name, and the email. And all I gotta do is click on verify information. And that's it. So once you verify it, Shopify will take up to 24 hours to add the domain to your Shopify store. Now for me personally, it only took about an hour. So just wait about an hour or two, check back to your store, and then you'll have the new domain installed on your store. And after I waited about 30 minutes, you'll see that my new domain is now propagated and ready to go. And if I visit my Shopify store, you'll see my new domain is now propagated and ready to go. And also my SSL is also secure. So congratulations on your new Shopify store. I hope this video was very helpful. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. And until then, I will see all of you party people later.